Welcome to Medan, welcome to RT11. I would like, first of all, thank all the speakers and panelists who came before me with those interesting findings. I found it absolutely interesting, especially the talk on food security. We heard all of them sharing interesting views and informations on the links between palm oil, food security, and poverty alleviation. I'm very pleased to see all of you here today. Your attendance shows that there is great interest in the topic of sustainable palm oil. As you can see, there is great interest about sustainable palm oil, not only from within the membership of RSPO. There is a great interest that palm oil is developed sustainably even from outside of the membership, as you can see by the crowds outside of this venue. So a lot of people are interested in how we can develop palm oil sustainably. We have all seen some of the problems related to unsustainable practices. And we have been reminded how much we still need to do if we want to make sure that we will together transform the markets to make sustainable palm oil the norm. In the years since the RSPO was formed, many things have happened that I feel are worth mentioning so that we understand why we are here today and what we will be doing for the next 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, I have tried to summarize all the key things that RSPO has done as a group in the last 11 years of roundtables. But it was extremely difficult to put everything in one slide. I promised myself at this event I will only use one slide. So this is it. This is the slide. With great difficulty, tried to map out the key things that were achieved, the key milestones that were achieved in the RSPO. Our first preparatory meeting actually started way back in 2001 and 2002. But I decided to start at the first official inaugural meeting of the Roundtable. It took place in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, August 2003, and was attended by 200 participants from 16 countries. With the formalization of the RSPO in Zurich in 2004, we have seen committed players joining their efforts towards the creation of a commonly agreed standard. After that, since the adoption of the principles and criteria, also known lovingly as the PNCs, the first 2-year pilot project started in 2005. That is when people really got to know how easy or how difficult it was to implement this new standard. Later came the official launch of the certification system in 2007. It was then that we also decided to have a review of our standards 5 years later, which is 2012. So every 5 years, we review our standards to ensure that there will be continuous improvements whilst not shifting the goalpost too often. We saw the reward of all this work in the first shipment of RSPO certified palm oil arriving in North Rotterdam, November 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, our efforts did not stop there, as the RSPO is committed to continuous improvement. I took the reins of the RSPO as Secretary General in 2011. This is when we launched our trademark. This was the first signal we could send to consumers that they have the opportunity to pull the supply chain, to pull certified sustainable palm oil to their markets. At that point, we had 536 members with an annual capacity of 3.5 million tons of certified sustainable palm oil, or CSPO. When we last gathered here in 2012, the RSPO membership grew in leaps and bounds. At that time, in 2012, we had 1,000 members with annual capacity of 8 million tons, or 14% of global supply of palm oil. The new RSPO, Principles and Criteria, 2013 we call it, was shared in 2013 at RT10. We took in comments and we received feedback. It went through a long period of discussion, more than 1.5 years. The revised Principles and Criteria has since been approved and has received acceptance from our members, and the membership are now trying to roll it out in their various countries and also their various production units. Having these achievements in mind, we know that this commonly agreed standard is what ultimately represents the credibility of RSPO. With this standard, we can set the bar. We can set the bar for the definition of sustainable palm oil internationally. Indeed, we are already doing that, but we want to continue to be at the cutting edge of sustainable development for this particular commodity, which is palm oil. This standard is what makes the certification worthy in the eyes of the consumers and all of us who so strongly believe in the need for sustainable production. We are gathered here today with the intent to create a sense of shared responsibility. I think we know very well that the producers are here to implement these standards called the RSPO PNCs. But I don't think the responsibility should be solely on the shoulders of producers. We have a shared responsibility, and that is why we are here today, and that is why we are going to progress the next 2 days in a new format, which I hope will allow people to understand what the RSPO PNCs 2013 is, help the attendees understand how to apply these new standards, and hopefully, at the end of the day, help participants embrace these standards. The rationale why we are going forward with a new format, I will reveal later. But what struck me in the early planning stages of this event was that if you look in the media, you will see that either people are saying the standards are too low or the standards are too high. No one really says in the media that it's just right. So I was thinking, and my team was thinking, how can we make everybody get the real perception? And we said, well, doing it the old way cannot be right, where people come up on stage, talk about a very technical matter, and 800 people go to sleep, minus the 20 people in front. So we decided that it has to be more interactive, has to be more intimate, and hopefully it will bring all those silent people who have a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, to bring their voices out so that they can share all that and the rest, and for the benefit of the rest of the membership. We aim to use this time to ensure that there's understanding, there's an understanding on how to apply the standards, and and hopefully at the end of the day they will embrace it. So, how are we going to do this in the next 2 days? We have thought about it at length, and we are going to employ something called open space technology. So I am the first to admit that change comes difficult for me. I prefer the true and tried methods of presentation through panels and to deliver information. So we decided to take a bold step, make the change, because we need a different result. And I think RT11 will give us a different result. Hopefully the result will be good. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope through open space technology, it will allow you the freedom to voice out issues or voice out ideas and allow everyone to benefit from that wisdom. We hope that you will also give others the opportunity to express themselves and suspend your disbelief, suspend your own ideas, to allow space for the other to talk. So we have got in touch with some very experienced facilitators who are experts in open space technology. And at this point, I'd like to introduce to you the lead facilitator, who will then explain to you how the process over the next 2 days will evolve, will go through. Yeah? So may I invite Mr. Victor Chandrawira of BRC to introduce himself. And I hope, it's my wish, that this will be a truly interactive roundtable meeting, and everybody will come out of here with a same level of understanding of the RSPO PNC's 2013. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I want to step out of this podium because otherwise I will have a long speech and you will sleep and only 20 people will wake up. Okay? So let me help. Thank you. My name is Victor Chandrawira. I will be your lead facilitator for the whole 3 days. What we are going to do is, as Daryl said, it will be a new experience. Every now and then during this day for the last 2 days, over and over again, people coming to you and to me and says, Vic, what is this? What is this that we are going to have? And it's so exciting to see that happen because I know your excitement will create new things. New ideas will emerge, new approach will be coming, new time for people to share ideas and information. So let me bring you with the whole process. The first process that we see, if you see on the slides, is actually, if you see the 3 days, we have already had the opening, the keynote speech, and all the panel discussion. Now, we are now in the setting the scene. Right after this, you will have the stakeholders interactive session. I will go with you to each program day by day after this, but I want you to see also the big picture. Now, tomorrow we will have the whole day actually, as what Daryl said, open space technology. And that's where we will talk about our support to PNC 2013 for Sustainable Future as our theme. And at the end of the day, we will have the closing the loop before we are going to have the action plan on the 3rd day. Then all of you will have the General Assembly as it is designed. Okay, so this is the whole 3 days that we are going to have. Now, with that, I will go one by one and I will bring you to the 4 norms. These norms will apply throughout the 3 days. The first, with the saying of this norm, I will also introduce you to my fellow facilitators who will work with me. That way you will see them in person and you will know who they are and you can greet and meet them afterwards. Okay? First norm, listen at the back. The facilitators is Su Yu from Taiwan.
The speaker with your full attention, and please listen to what is said and what not. And please be authentically curious about others' perspective. Thank you.
Listen is when you really hold and really try to understand. Greg in the middle will explain in Bahasa Indonesia.
Mendengarkan bukan hanya sekedar mendengar, tapi juga menyimak. Menghormati orang yang sedang berbicara dengan memberikan perhatian penuh pada apa yang mereka katakan. Menyimak apa yang mereka katakan atau tidak terkatakan. Secara terus mencari tahu cara pandang mereka ketika mereka ingin mengungkapkan sesuatu.
Listen. The second norm is respect. I will have Franklin to share with us respect. Oh, Franklin is here in front.
Selamat pagi. No reaction. In Indonesian, it says good morning. Victor was saying he's afraid you will sleep. Everybody is afraid we will sleep. And I think by greeting each other the way we should is the beginning of respect. Menghargai. And therefore, say good afternoon. Selamat siang.
Frank mencoba untuk mengatakan selamat pagi, karena terkadang mungkin secara pemahaman bahasa kita berbeda-beda, dan kemudian kita memberi sebuah penilaian. Tapi Frank mengatakan, mungkin dengan suatu hal yang akhirnya kita mencoba untuk memahami mengapa orang tersebut mengatakan hal tersebut, maka kita bisa menghargai mereka. Dan menghargai kita mulai dari hal yang sepele, dari hal yang sederhana. Frank mengatakan, selamat sore, selamat siang untuk semua.
So when you talk about listen and respect, two norms. Maybe people are coming from very different language, bahasa yang berbeda. Maybe people coming from different background. Maybe people coming from a very different point of view. Respect. Listen to them. Let them voice their ideas. The third norm will be shared by Max.
Voice simply means sharing your opinion and reasons, and doing it clearly and briefly. In times of cynicism and skepticism, voice can create or strengthen understanding and help with moving forward.
Dengan mencoba untuk bersuara, dengan secara sederhana kita dapat memahaminya sebagai sebuah upaya untuk berbagi opini kita, berbagi apa yang akhirnya menjadi sebuah informasi yang harus disampaikan. Namun sebenarnya di tengah-tengah keskeptisan, cara berpikir, atau mungkin cynical yang terjadi di sekitar kita, ketika kita bersuara, ini bisa menjadi sebuah jembatan bagi kita, bagaimana kita akhirnya bisa saling menghargai.
If you listen and respect and voice, sometimes it's so hot in us and we just want to just attack because I think they are wrong. That's the fourth norm, suspend. Suspend doesn't mean you hold, okay? Suspend. So I will let Gail West at the end, to share with us what is suspend.
Notice your reaction and judgment to the statements of others, as this can often stop listening and understanding. Suspend our agreements and disagreements until we have understood what others actually have to say.
Seringkali ketika kita tidak memahami dan tidak mencoba untuk mendengarkan, maka yang terjadi adalah kita kehilangan upaya kita untuk mendengarkan dan menyimak dan mencoba untuk mencari tahu dan menghargai orang lain, karena akhirnya kita terbawa pada apa yang sudah kita asumsikan, pada apa yang sudah kita bayangkan, dan membuat kita berhenti untuk mau mendengarkan orang lain dan memahami serta menghargai mereka. Maka ada kalanya kita tidak hanya suspend, hold atau menahan, tapi juga mencoba untuk mengalihkannya dan menanti sehingga kita paham betul apa yang dikatakan oleh orang lain dari awal sampai dengan akhir, sehingga kita dapat mendapatkan gambaran yang utuh. Suspend.
All four norms. Listen, respect, voice, suspend. I really thank you because even now you're listening and suspend your ideas. Thank you very much. Now, think about that. It's the four norms. And I will go with you one by one on the day just to share with you the process quickly before you are going to the first session, which is the stakeholders interactive sessions. Now, this part is very much on kind of like a scheme, fast scheme of what we are going to do today. So you see that stakeholders interactive session day 1, which is only today. Within this group, we will have facilitators. I would like to ask Now, before everything else, I would like to ask everybody, and maybe light will be on if it is possible, lampu. And everybody sits, so I know when people are standing, mean they are the one who we will call, okay? Okay, I will ask everyone to stand. When I say stand, please stand, so it's okay for everyone to know. All right, first of all, I would like to ask the facilitators. Is everybody now sit? Okay, good. I would like to ask the facilitators and note takers to stand up. Stand up, facilitators and note takers. Facilitators and note takers are stand up. So you see at the back there are some people are standing. Here, over here, see, those are people who are become the facilitators and note takers. These are the first group that you will see during the whole day. Second, thank you very much. We will have resource person. Now, I cannot ask everybody to stand because within this room, you are resource persons. You are all within this group to listen, understand, because you have something that you bring into the discussions. But we will acknowledge you. Within the group also there are some people working as a task group. But they will come and help during the stakeholder interaction, and that's where you will see their role. But I will ask participants. All of you have different tags. Now let me see if I can assemble all these tags, and I want people to stand up and show their tags, okay? The first is the greens, growers. Can I see the growers to stand, please? All growers to stand. All growers. Give a big hand. This is the resource person, the growers. Thank you, growers. You can be seated. I would like to have the PNT, that's processor and traders. The bluish things. Processor and traders. All right. Thank you. We will have retailers. Retailers. Okay. All right. We want to have, I have this CGM. That's consumer goods manufacturers. All right. Thank you. We have bankers. All right. Just a little. Okay. Great. We will have environment NGO, the greenish, light green. All right. We will have social NGO, peach. All right. And we have, this is the new groups. We call them cooperators. It means that they are associates, affiliates, and non-members. The white one. Would you mind to stand, please? Ladies and, hold on, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stay. Ladies and gentlemen, these are people who hopefully soon will be members of our SPO. All right. Now, we will have time to really get to know each other through the interactives. This is where you will know each other. Today, you will know your friends within your stakeholder groups. So people from associates or non-members, later on when we go to interaction groups, you go to the interaction groups to the stakeholder group that is closest to you. So if you are retailers, you go to retailers group. If you are bankers, you go to the bankers group. That way you go and gather together. Tomorrow we will have time for cross-function, cross-sectors, cross-stakeholders. Today we concentrate only in our stakeholders to really understand with our things. That's why today is our stakeholder caucus. you will only gather with your friends first to understand what is the PNC, what is the new PNC, and what is going on. Okay? Right. Each stakeholders, I will show later, each stakeholders group has its own convening room. So you will see this room also available, and we will see some other convening room available. I will show you later about that. And our time will be soon. Okay? Our time will be soon. All right. So there are two questions you need to answer in stakeholders meeting, in stakeholder interactive. One is, which parts, which aspects of the PNC do you appreciate most? This is one question. Which part? Now, if you need to know what are the PNC and which part of them, within your magic bag, you got your magic bag, right? It's magic. Within that, you will have these principles and criteria, PNC. So you and your team go with this. And then the second question is, which aspects need to be clarified further? So within your group later, within the stakeholders, we try to really understand. That's why it is a caucus. So within your group, you understand for your stakeholder what is the PNC. Okay? That is day one. Tomorrow, again, this is just overview. We will have open space for the whole day. It is a cross-sector, self-managed discussion groups. I know some people are excited about it. Suspend. Wait for tomorrow, okay? Suspend. Initiate and support issues and topics to be discussed. Some people have already come to me and say, Vic, can I write the ideas? Suspend. We'll do it tomorrow. Learn different ideas from each other. So it's the process of learning. Okay? The open space theme will be our support to PNC for a sustainable future. This is tomorrow. The third day, we have action planning in the morning. We will explain about it tomorrow, the day after, when we are going to do it. But the idea is to cross-stakeholders planning time for implementation actions. So this is the time to cross-stakeholders, or it depends on how you want to build that, to make an action plan out of the PNC. And allow innovations to emerge. This is the time. Okay? All right. So we are going to be ready for the interactive. Be ready to go to your rooms because you will be bring with your rooms. Again, remember, this is a stakeholders caucus. So you need to go to your group. For people who couldn't find where they are actually, especially the white ones, you feel, I'm not the growers, maybe I'm academician. There is a place for you. We call it cooperators group. If you don't mind later on, you can change the name, okay? That's easy. But, so you have your own room. Yeah? And facilitators, resource persons, and participants will be there. We will be there soon. This is the scheme for today. I think we will change a little bit. Setting the scheme, we will finish soon. And so you walk and sit in the respective convening room. You need to be fast so you can start fast. Otherwise, if you still, mingling and wait, then you will miss the whole process because it's very short. Coffee break will be provided around the convening rooms. So it's very much up to you and the facilitators how you want to manage that coffee breaks. Okay? So 2 things that you will do during the process. First is review. This is where you have a small group discussions and resource persons sharing. The 2 questions still remain. And then we have the reflection before at 17:30, which is 5:30. You walk back to this convention room, which is this room. And we have a closing day for day 1. Okay, so it's as simple as that. This is it. Consumer goods, manufacturers, bankers, and retailers, you stay in this room. Okay? Growers, you go next door. Just next door. E&GO, you go to the ballroom 2, which is at the back. Ballroom 1 will be processors and traders. Let me share you who will be the what you call the facilitators. And the facilitator will stand and share the name, what you call the label, what you call that. Consumer goods, manufacturing, and banks and retailers will be Gail. Oh, Gail is back there. Gail will be here with you all. Bankers, manufacturing, Gail will be there, will be here with us. Growers, I will be your facilitator. I will be with you next door. Processors and traders, Greg and Suyu. Oh, there you go. You see Greg and Suyu? They will be right in front of that open door, the welcoming door. And then the E&GO, that will be Max. Max will be there at the back, the second level. That's for facilitation room, for convening room. Social NGO. Social NGO. This is not second floor. It's 1.5 floor. I don't know what you call that. Mezzanine, whatever, right? It's just next to the, what you call, bookstore. Santika 5 and 6. That's the name of the room. Carmela, Carmela at the back, that's Carmela. Social NGO, Carmela will be your facilitator. This is the new group, right? People who, not lost. They are the one who still, the classification is not suit and fit. You can come to this group. This is cooperators group. We have Franklin, the one who went in. Franklin is there. Oh, there you go, Franklin. So the cooperators will be in Santika 9, second floor. Okay? Remember where you are going? Remember two things. Which parts of the PNC do you appreciate the most? And which parts need to be clarified further? So, enjoy the journey until I will see you at 5:30 here. Good afternoon. Have fun.
where the average premium given to grower is about 2 to 3 US dollar per ton. So within the last 5-6 years, they have given out 43 US dollars to the grower. The grower, how many growers certified so far? Only 48 growers certified so far.
Siapa cepat, dia dapat. That's it. You want high premium, you must go when the certification is still starting. Yeah? After that, it will slide down. So always be prepared. If you want to see any new standard, you see a new standard coming 2-3 years from now, you work now. Once the standard comes, boom, you get it. Okay, that's all.
So you prefer listen to all this? Oh, okay. So what are you okay with that then, or you? How many things? Oh, well, difficult to say. It's a consensus.
I think a level of comfort around also the signing up to things like the young child labour and ethical practices. I'm comfortable with that.
To the community, it's only for by a few community their space now, but not to the consumer. B2B is no issue, but B2C is a big issue. So we are discussing now how to make the consumer market really understand about the RSPO, not only RSPO, but the sustainability process. So we're discussing maybe we need to have input from our friends how to advertise or how to educate the consumer to get more understanding about the RSPO.
So the most relevant or the appropriate PNC what we found was no harassment and abuse in the workplace. And reproductive rights are protected. That comes under the responsible consideration of employees and of individuals.
It now includes the GHG criteria as well as outlands, because that was a major point for us previously, especially in terms of in terms of growing pressure from other parties as well to address these issues.
Also the human rights issues, which are increasingly important. That was the other big plus.
Questions that need to be raised in order to really understand where everybody is coming from across all the states. So we have Asriel here, who's going to be our note taker, and will be, whenever you want to put things either as appreciations or questions later on, he will get all of that into the documentation of this afternoon's work. So, as soon as you get written down some of your appreciations, just go ahead and put them up on the wall in whatever form you have, and he will type them in as we begin to move on to the questions and unclarities. And Raya can help
I wrote down. And it's a little bit surprising when you see some of the external comment that we read about before coming to meetings like this, where there's a lot of focus on whether the standards are high enough or not. And I think it's great that we come to a meeting like this and we hear from different people and we hear what they're really interested in. As a summary, I wrote down requests on communications, marketing, awareness, infringements, compensation, technicalities. Unusually, most not apparently wanting lots more improvements in the P&C. So I think that's really valid feedback to give to our SPO, and if that's what the meeting wants to get over as a message, and whether that's about how to penalise people in legalities and the instructions on how to do these things, I think that's a good idea. So yeah, let's go where the mood of the meeting wants us to go.
I think P's and C's just feel a little bit removed from where we are. I think a lot of us are probably all at different parts of our journey, and I think kind of reflecting on what we can learn from each other. This is the first time we've certainly spent time as a kind of collective together, and I think the opportunity for us to kind of talk in kind of subgroups and be able to feed certain things back into in this forum and actually get the opportunity to take something away from each other as well, because there's lots that some of us have done and haven't done that we can learn from each other. So I'd encourage the open forum nature.
Yeah, I'm working for Saraya, consumer goods manufacturers, and somewhat I'm here somewhat a little bit uncomfortable because, of course, English is not my mother tongue. That's also one of the reasons. But for us, PNC is something remote away from our countries, and I cannot discuss sensible issues as for PNC. What we really interested in is how I can get certified palm kernel oil derivatives in a proper price and those kind of things. But if the subject is like this, become like this, I don't have much things to say. So now we are the group of the consumer goods manufacturers, those kind of people. We can focus on those kind of issues as well. Otherwise, I cannot say anything. We don't know the local situation. Of course, I have the general knowledge about the local situation, boundaries and mapping, and that's the issue of RSP. But what we really want to know is the information about how we can get, for example, green palm certificate in a proper price, and when the price is going down, those kind of things. So, somewhat we want to have that kind of opportunity to talk about this and need a kind of solution for this.
My name is Sherry Tan, and I work for Unilever. In many ways, I think I echo comments from the Japanese colleague. Unilever uses about 1.5 million tons of palm oil, and many know that we are one of the largest users, but actually when you think about how much we use, 3%, it really isn't enough to shift and transform the market. And very often we also feel very isolated in our journey because we have made very strong commitments to certified sustainable palm oil. Last year, all of our palm oil has been is covered out mainly by green palm certificates, but that's not enough, and so we have to move on. We get a lot of pressures from NGOs to push for a higher standard. So at the same time, we committed that all of our palm oil will be traceable and certified by 2020. And this journey in the last year and a half to try and organize our supply chain such that we can make it to the end goal has been very difficult and very isolating, because it's trying to get and find the long-term commitments of suppliers to guarantee to us that traceable certified roadmap has been challenging, because they themselves are also saying that, look, what we can commit to is what we know from our concessions. But as you know, the majority of the traders to whom we all work with, 90%, 70% of their palm oil comes from third parties. So I think one of the things that I would really hope that we can all land is the need to really focus on the requirement of traceability, that the supply chain has to be traceable and transparent. There is a lot of discussion about certification and supply chain of custody, but that still doesn't give us the guarantee of that traceability. And once we all start to demand for the traceability and provide that infrastructure to make that happen, then I think we're going to see a shift. And I think the other thing that I also want to articulate, and I think it's necessary that we come with one voice, is also the need for transparency in the market uptake. Because very often we hear that it's 50% of the palm oil is taken up as CSPO. But it is more than 50%, because when you ask suppliers, they say that there is no segregated palm oil available. There is a lot of palm oil that's actually channeled to certified biofuels market. And I think that also has to be recognized, because I hear estimates of 2 million tons. So I reach out to my biofuels colleagues, and I think that we have to align these standards, be it ISCC or RSPO, because it's only going to create more market transparency.
I echo that point. There's a discussion going on in the Trade and Traceability Standing Committee about what the IT system should do, which we're trying to design at the moment. And the discussion about making clear what products you have on sale, which are available to other parties, is a huge stumbling block.
This situation, dating back 7 years, is dramatically changed. As you see, today we have more than 8 million tons per year certified palm oil available globally. The bottleneck is not in the availability of certified palm oil. I would say that from the deforestation point of view, the bottleneck is how you are able to trace back, use, for instance, mass balance or even segregation in some instances. But to keep this motor running instead of trying to fine tune it, I think that would be a good advice. Thank you.
Communication problem with the RSPO in our constituency, that while all these issues about clarity about what the PMCs are probably stems from the fact that apart from growers and apart from NGOs, bankers, retailers, consumer manufacturers probably don't get the same amount of communication.
Let's just see, how do you feel? Long day. It has been a very long day, isn't it? Well, some of you will continue to have several meetings. So after this is amazing. So this is also a chance for you to connect and create new approaches. Great. So some logistics, and if your friends are not here, please share this to your friends. What I see what I saw towards the whole afternoon was a chance for a lot of people to get connected. And that's the most important thing. And to really capture the essence of the PNC. Some of you even say, wow, we haven't read the book. And so that is a chance also to just skim and read and learn from each other. And also some people stretch hands and meet people from their stakeholder groups, and it allows people to get to know each other and learn from each other, and even exchange news from different countries, different continent, and really valuable time. So the most valuable time for, if I see, is the time for you to really gather together, learn from each other. Now, that is also the things that we will do tomorrow. At 8:30, you are welcome to be in this room. We'll have a concentric circle throughout these 2 rooms that we will open, and we will have opening the open space process. We will try to put the things that people draw on this particular wall. This is what we call the breaking news wall. So after this, if you want to just join and see whatever people write or draw, you're welcome. So that's also a chance for you to have a time to really see what other groups are doing. Well, 8:30 tomorrow morning, all of you are welcome. We'll have the open space. Bring nothing except yourself and your eagerness to learn. Okay? That's 2 things that you need to do. Eagerness and willingness to learn from each other, ideas that you want to post and share with people, willingness to go and cross the room and meet people, learn from each other, because tomorrow we will have the time to open the space for you. Really the space for you to share, to engage the ideas, and maybe, creating new ideas, bigger ideas. So that is for today. This is just to let down and see that things are done well. I believe we have been doing extremely well, so I want you to really give a big applause to yourself. Louder. This is that's it, You have to really say that you are doing well. Formal clapping is only for government officers. Okay? But for ourselves, we have to be proud. Make it big. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow early morning at 8:30. Have breakfast and come at 8:30. Now is also the time to start mingling and see people from different, sectors. Just come, and if you see some strange looking person you never met before, just come and say, I've never seen you. I'm Victor from Indonesia. Can I know you? And just stretch your hands, because this is the time for you. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Have a good time. Have a good evening. Pleasant time to meet each other. Have a good dinner. Be healthy. Tomorrow we'll come together at 8:30. Have a very good evening. Thank you.